It's happened, guys. I am engaged. I literally couldn't be happier. It's literally a dream come true. I'm getting married. Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing really well. This is literally the most exciting video ever because I'm engaged. I actually still can't believe it. I feel like it's settling in now that I'm actually getting married, which is just wild. But I'm honestly on cloud nine still. It happened over a month ago, but I'm just still on cloud nine in the little engagement bubble. So excited that I'm actually going to be getting married. Like, I'm going to have a wedding. I would love to share this like journey on YouTube, just to like look back on and obviously share with other people who also might be getting married or just love wedding content like me. I've always been obsessed with weddings, so please let me know if you would like to see lots of wedding content. Like, saying that even feels so surreal. But for today's video, I wanted to do an engagement Q&A. Sorry if I keep playing with my hair. You know, you have like a weird hair day. I can't work out what I want to do with it. But I asked over on TikTok and Instagram for any questions about like my engagement and wedding questions. So I will put them down here if you want to follow me over on there if you're not already. So I'm going to start with a question a few people asked, which was, how did he propose? So I had no idea. This engagement had actually been in the making since 2019. And I have actual proof of that because he told my best friend's boyfriend at like a party that he was planning on doing it in 2020. So 2019, he knew he was going to do it, was planning on doing it the following year. Told my best friend's boyfriend, and he told her. So she's like always known that this was like gonna happen at like some point. And in 2020, we were planning on going on like an Italy trip, going for like 2 weeks, traveling around. Obviously 2020 happened, the trip never happened, and we also had like a lot of stuff going on in our personal life, like redundancies, changes in jobs. So it just like, it wasn't the right time for us. But Bradley still knew he definitely wanted to get engaged. And then this year came round, and one thing he actually said when he asked me to marry him was that like he could have waited for like the perfect location, the perfect date. But he said ultimately he just didn't want to spend a single day more not being engaged to me, which actually means like so much more. Like, it was so important for both of us just to like be closer to becoming like a family, and like that's more important than like anything else. Like waiting, like what are you waiting for? Like, we just both really wanted to be engaged. So yeah, and he didn't want to do it near like any other particular date. So we don't have an anniversary, we never have. So he kind of wanted this date to be on its own, and that could be like our engagement anniversary and like a special date for us always to look back on. Obviously we'll have a wedding anniversary in the future. So he didn't want to do it like near Christmas, because we already love Christmas so much. That's already so special to us in like its own right. It's also Bradley's birthday in December, and like he makes such a fuss of me on my birthday, so it was nice. It was like its own day. And every year we go on a staycation to Brighton, and so he decided to do it in Brighton. He said he had a few ideas about where he was going to do it, but he didn't want me to work it out. So if he like randomly took me to a location, he thought I'd be like suspicious, which I would have been. Also with some of these places he thought of going to, he didn't know like who was going to be there, what they're going to look like in person, like if it started raining, if anyone kind of just was awkwardly standing in the way. And I know it was really important to him not to like bottle it. He wanted to go through with it, so he wanted it to be like a calm, relaxing environment where he felt like he could do it and we could enjoy it, but also have a place which we could revisit in the future and could be like a special place for us to go back to. So he proposed in the Ivy in the Lanes in Brighton. We've actually wanted to go there for so many years. Every time we go to Brighton, we're like, next year we've got to go there, next year we've got to go there. And this year we remembered to actually book it. So I knew we were going there for dinner. And we stayed in Brighton for 2 nights, and this was the first night. We went for dinner. I didn't realise he'd contacted the restaurant in advance and asked for like the nicest table in the restaurant. And said like he was going to propose and stuff. And they all knew, and I literally had like no clue. So we went and sat down, and if you've ever been to any of the Ivies, you know when they've got those kind of like sofa-y tables, usually on like a corner with like all the cushions. So we had one of those, and where it was just like one table there and one table on another corner. So there was like no one next to us, and it was like quite private, and then it just looked out onto the restaurant, so you felt like you could enjoy the atmosphere, but equally like it felt quite like relaxing and a bit more intimate. And when we sat down at our table, I went, oh my gosh, like we literally have the best table in the whole restaurant, having no idea that he'd like obviously like said like I'm proposing, and obviously they wanted to give us a bit of like privacy. I was like, this is such a good table. I was like, this is perfect. So after we had our food, they had some, like I said, cushions by us, and I'd gone to the toilet before we'd eaten. So the ring was actually hiding behind the cushions. And then the night before we'd gone to Brighton, we were watching like our new favourite show. It's not a new show, but it's our new favourite show, People Just Do Nothing. A film's just come out at the cinema of it, and we were just talking about it because the night before in the episode, and it was me who brought it up as well, which Bradley said was perfect, like because he wasn't sure like how to like start asking me. The girl in it really wanted to get engaged, and the guy was kind of like on one knee anyway, and then she kind of was like holding him down there being like, oh my gosh, are you proposing? So we were talking about the episode we watched the night before, and I made a joke. I was like, oh my gosh, imagine if I just pushed you down right now, Bradley, like, you know, saying, oh, you've got to propose now. And like we can joke like that, like we're such like a jokey couple, and we've spoken about marriage a lot. We both knew that we both always wanted to get married. Obviously we've been together quite a while, and so we're really comfortable talking about things like that and joking about things like that. Like Bradley has jokingly said to me so many times in the past, I've got a question to ask you, and I've like always known it was a joke. So then Bradley said to me, oh, what would you say if I did ask you to marry me? And then I was just still joking around, like not thinking anything of it. Like I said, like, you know, we've talked about this a lot. He's asked me that in the past, and then after a while he like said it again. I said obviously I'd say yes. And then next thing I know, it all becomes a bit of a blur now. I feel like everyone who gets engaged is they can't like remember it properly, because you're just, it's just so like overwhelming. And like for me, it was such a shock that I was just like digesting what was happening. So out from behind the cushion, a ring comes out, and then he says all the lovely things. Like I said, bit of a blur, but then asked me to marry him. Obviously I said yes. I was so happy. And got my ring, and after kind of a couple of minutes of us just like hugging and just kind of taking in the moment, the staff at the Ivy came over and gave us a glass of champagne and said congratulations. Now I'm not really sure how many people actually kind of clocked what was happening. Like I said, our table was kind of like in this corner, and the table next to us was, I think it was initially empty, and I think it was actually like just after we'd got engaged, some girls had gone and sat down at that table. So I'm sure some people had noticed, but like, I mean, I was in my own world, so I didn't really like, I wasn't aware of anyone else. But once they kind of put down the champagne, and then I like put my hand on the table, the girls were like, oh my gosh, did you just get engaged? Would you like a picture? And then it all kind of sank in, and then some other people clocked and said congratulations. But it was nice because we kind of had like our private moment, but then we got to still have like a nice picture there and some champagne, and got congratulated, and it felt like more real. So yeah, it was so lovely. And like I said, the most special thing was that it was more important to him that we just like got engaged, and he was worried that Brighton wasn't like special enough. But I said, like, we've been on so many holidays together, we've been like all around Europe together, but the one place we go back to every year is Brighton. And so in a way, like, that's kind of more special. I feel like I just said that story for about 100 years. I'm hoping I can like edit that down. That was such a long-winded story. I feel like if you're still watching now, like, congratulations. Someone said, did you know it was coming? Which I kind of said, like, no clue. Like, I know most people kind of, oh, sorry, I'm just seeing someone cleaning their window opposite me. I feel like she's looking at me. I feel like most people do kind of start, or at least get like an inkling it's happening. When you've been with someone for so long, you just know them, you kind of know how they're behaving. And I know Bradley so well, and I always know when he's up to anything. So I really thought I would know. And I've always said to everyone, like, oh, I'll know, like, I'll be happy, like, it doesn't matter. But no, it was such a surprise, which is amazing, because I never thought I would be that surprised. And the only time it crossed my mind, like, it does, I think if you've been together for a certain amount of time and you kind of know you're in that stage in your relationship, was the night before I was in the shower, and I thought to myself, imagine if I got engaged. And then I almost like laughed at myself for even thinking that, and that was it. Like, a split second thought. But like, when we were getting ready for dinner, like, nothing in me thought it was happening. Like, he'd managed to like hide the ring so well, it was all so smooth. Yeah, it was the surprise of my life, but like the best surprise ever. Someone else said, did he cry and did you cry? So when he was asking me to marry him, he had tears in his eyes, which is just like, obviously amazing. Like, I never ever see him cry, so that, like, I know it meant a lot to him, so that was like really special. And when he was actually proposing, I was too shocked. Like, I kept saying, is this real? Is this real? Because I couldn't believe it was happening. Like, obviously I was so happy, but just, it felt like a dream. And it was only when the girl said to me, oh my gosh, did you just get engaged? Can we take a picture for you? That I then clocked that it was like real, like someone else kind of seeing it, that I then just like burst into tears. I was literally like shaking, and it then like, yeah, hit me that it had happened. But I think, yeah, it was mainly shock, so I didn't cry instantly, but then afterwards I then just like burst into tears and realised what had actually happened. So I've also had a few questions about the ring itself. A few people asked, like, did I choose that ring or did he choose the ring? And someone asked what colour is the band. So just go into a bit of ring details. So let me do a little close up. So this is the ring. I am literally obsessed with it. So Bradley chose the ring himself. Well, he didn't actually just choose it, he actually designed it. So he went to Hatton Garden and designed my ring, which is like even more special. And when I say he did an amazing job, earlier this year, I think like the first week in January, I did like a vision board on Pinterest, and I saved an engagement ring on there. And bearing in mind, Bradley doesn't even have Pinterest. Like, this is like my private vision board, you know, like just for me. I'd saved a picture of a ring which looks so much like this ring. This ring is actually better. It's bigger and even more beautiful. But I'd literally saved like a solitaire diamond with like 6, I don't know what they're called, they're like the prongs, you know, which like hold the diamond, and a platinum band. Like, what the hell, like that is mad. And like we'd never gone to try on rings before, we'd never really like had a big discussion about rings, you know, like he's picked up on things here and there, like when other people have got engaged, I pointed out when I liked their rings and when I like that wasn't so much to my taste and things like that. You know, you got to drop those hints, girls. Like, don't expect them to be completely psychic, but he also knows like what I like. And the only thing I think I've ever really specifically said was that I don't like thick bands on engagement rings for like me. I mean, I've got like quite like small fingers and I love chunky rings, but I associate them more with like kind of fashion jewelry, and for something I'm gonna wear like every day and have with a wedding band eventually, I wanted it to be quite thin. And also I think like all diamonds of all sizes are beautiful, as are other like jewels, but I knew I always wanted like a single diamond. And I kind of imagined I'd have a much smaller diamond. So I thought, like, when the band sometimes is as thick as the diamond, I think it just doesn't make the diamond like look as amazing as it is. Like I said, like it doesn't matter like how small it is, it's still like such a beautiful, stunning like stone. And I feel like when the band is thinner, it just kind of really, it just allows you to focus on how beautiful the diamond itself is. So I'd always said like, oh, I just don't like thick bands. So I've actually got this like ultra thin band. So let me kind of, right, let me move. So it's quite hard to show this on the camera. So you can see here, it's almost like the ring. It starts off at the back like a regular band, but then when it comes around to the front, it just gets thinner and thinner, and it's almost like it's on its side in a way. So you can kind of see there, so then it's like ultra thin at the side, which I love. I've never seen a ring exactly like this one before, like with the band. I didn't even know you could get a band like that, but Bradley just said the thinnest band you can physically have. Knew we wanted platinum. I think I'd mentioned in the past like someone else had a platinum ring and it sounded really good, and I knew I kind of wanted silver for my wedding jewelry, and I don't have a problem mixing metals, so I still wear like a lot of gold jewelry as well. I like golds and silvers together, but I knew I wanted like a silver engagement ring, and platinum I just know like lasts a bit longer, so that was like my personal preference. But yeah, someone asked about the colour of the band, and it actually doesn't look that like a solid silver. It does at the back of the ring, where it's so thin and it's almost like the band's at like a weird angle, and the way it reflects off the diamond and just the other light, it almost doesn't look like a solid silver. It looks like a colour of its own, like somewhere in between a silver and a gold, which I absolutely love. And it does make it like wearable with like different coloured jewellery, but you can kind of see like it almost doesn't look like a solid colour in a way. So it is platinum, but because of the shape of it and the way the light reflects on it, it makes it like, I don't know, look a bit more like of an interesting colour. And like I said, it has 6 prongs. I can't believe Bradley chose that. Like, I've never seen that or said it apart from the picture I saved on Pinterest. So it's kind of wild that he chose that. That's one of my favourite things about the ring. And yeah, I'm so obsessed with this ring. Oh, and someone also said, did the ring fit? And it did. So how he worked out the ring is actually quite funny, because like I said, we'd never gone to try on rings, which I know a lot of people do say, you know, their ring size. I have on my side, I'll show you, my little ring stand with all my rings on. So like one day when I was out, I don't know if like all the rings were on here or some of them were on here, and he basically looked at my rings and tried on where they fitted up to him on his finger, but he then realised all my rings are different sizes. So I have, yeah, a variety of sizes, because I wear these on a variety of fingers. None of them I wear on my ring finger though. I wear them all on my middle finger or my index finger. So he tried them all on and then kind of tried to work out a bit of an average. And then when he went there, they said to him, oh, like sometimes people would rather go a bit bigger in case like it doesn't fit on the finger. And he said, no, she's got small fingers, would rather go slightly smaller. And he didn't think I wore these on my ring finger, and it literally fits really well. I've got up to a year to get it resized for free, so I've got time to like work out whether I do want to get it resized, but I don't think I will. Like, I think the test for a ring is if you can put it on easily but it's hard to take off, it fits right. So I like can't really get off very easy. I have to like really like concentrate and like wiggle it off, but it's quite easy to get on. And yeah, I don't feel like it's gonna fall off. So I think it's the perfect size. So he did, yeah, really well there as well. Someone said, how did you both meet and how long have you guys been together? So we met 7 years ago, in September, funnily enough. So it's kind of nice, you know, we got engaged on the 1st September when we actually met in September 7 years ago. We were just like friends for like a year, except we don't have an anniversary, so I'm not really sure. But I think when you meet someone you're supposed to be with, you're always kind of drawn to each other, even if you are just friends. But equally, I think that is a really solid part of our relationship, is that we are genuinely friends as well as like obviously fiancés. But yeah, I think that's a solid part of any relationship, if you are genuinely friends as well. Oh yeah, and we met at work. We used to work at Ripley's Believe It or Not museum. It's actually gone now, it's really sad. It got changed. It's in Piccadilly Circus on the corner. It got changed to Bodyworks and now it's like some tourist shop. It's actually really sad. A few people have asked when the wedding will be. Planning to get married in 2023. Not settled on a month yet. I'm thinking, because in terms of weddings, from like the research I've done, summer weddings come under May to September. So it will be a summer wedding in the fact it will be between May and September, I believe. And that's kind of all I know yet, but very exciting. Started looking at venues. So yeah, also if the lighting's just suddenly gone weird, the sun has just come out, so I look really white all of a sudden. It's because it's very bright. I don't know whether to close my blind a bit. It's like blinding. Right, let me close my blind. Someone has said, what is your wedding theme? So once we've chosen our venue, I feel like I'll be consolidating my ideas a bit more, but kind of based on the stuff I've saved on Pinterest, I'm thinking kind of like a sage kind of colour scheme, like kind of green. I quite like the kind of outdoorsy feel. Even if I do get married inside, it is England, and I do plan to get married in England, I think now. I want it to feel like quite green. Oh my gosh, this lighting is actually killing me. I'm so sorry if I look really weird. But yeah, I quite like the whole kind of sage greeny kind of vibe. And I always liked the whole kind of like Italian vineyard weddings, although I've kind of decided against a destination wedding just because a lot of my friends have families and commitments, and I always used to think, oh, people, if they want to come, they'll just make the effort. But actually, I think when you have friends who have like children and stuff like that, I think there's so much more to it than that, and kind of expecting people to pay for things and things like that. Like my other friends is getting married in 2023, and I feel like there's just gonna be so many weddings, and I want people to be able to like come to my wedding. Plus, I think I'd find it quite stressful if my venue was abroad and I'd literally only visit it probably once before the wedding, then having to transport everything. And then the main bit of stress for me would be if it rained, because like we thought about like getting married in Italy, but if it rained, which it does rain quite a lot in Italy, like you'd be surprised, but like I went to Italy like every single summer when I was a child, and it always rained for some of our holiday every single year without fail. My mum and dad go to Italy every year, and it always rains at some point. So if it did rain in Italy, it would be like really disappointing on your wedding day, whereas if it rains in England, you're like, well, it's England. So outdoorsy vibes, sage green. I do want like a lot of Italian influences though, kind of from like an Italian vineyard vibes. I've got some like ideas with like wine bottles and corks, and kind of want to have Aperol spritzes. I want it to feel very like a bit Italian inspired and summery, and yeah, I'm sure I'll share lots more when I start properly getting into planning. Someone said, what will your hen do be like? Now, I don't really know. I've always said for years and years and years, probably since I was like a teenager, like I've been talking about weddings since I went to my mum and dad's wedding when I was 3. I've probably been talking about hen dos since like my late teens. And I always said, oh, I really want to go to Marbella. I think I must have seen someone on like Facebook or something go to Marbella for a hen do, and I've had that in my head. So something like that would be amazing. I'd love to go like away with some friends. But equally, post-pandemic and having planned a hen do, I'm now quite up for like a UK hen do as well. I don't feel like the pressure of like I have to go away now. I feel like so many people have had hen dos in the UK, and I think there's a lot of pros to having one in the UK. Like more people can come. You've got like more money to spend on things you actually do, as you're not paying for like flights, and you know, there's a lot more to think about if you have a hen do abroad. And so the most important thing to me is I'm with a group of my friends. I would like to go away somewhere different, whether that be in the UK or Marbella or wherever, and just have lots of drinks, lots of good food, lots of good times, just basically be with my favourite people. But I will leave all of that up to my bridal team. I trust that they know me well enough. And speaking of bridesmaids, someone said, how are you going to ask your bridesmaids to be your bridesmaids if you're having them? So I'm gonna have 4 bridesmaids and 2 bridesmen, because 2 of my best friends are boys. I don't know, I always find it weird saying like men and women, but I'm 28, like I should really call people men and women. But yeah, 4 bridesmaids, 2 bridesmen. I've actually organised a little meal with them all. I'm gonna give them all a little gift. I don't really want to say too much because I'm probably gonna watch this video, but I'm just doing a cute little gift to give them and a little card, but I will definitely share it in a video, and I think I might vlog that as well. I might vlog my little asking my bridal party, and yeah, I'm just gonna answer one more question, otherwise this video is going to be about 100 years long. Someone said, how did you feel? And shocked, happy, just feels right, you know, something feels right. And it's just like when Bradley said, you know, he just really wanted to be engaged to me, and I really wanted to be engaged to him. Like it just feels so right for us, and yeah, I'm just so happy. I'm gonna end this video here. I mean, congratulations if you stuck with me for this long, because it was a long one. I can talk a lot about getting engaged apparently and weddings. But if you did enjoy this, please give the video a like so I know to make more wedding content. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.